this park is never going to be, I mean, no park is ever going to be complete, but this one has lost its way, in my opinion, and we should find it for them.
I think we should. So, what's our vibe? What are we doing at this park?
I think we're both in agreement that this park really should be like celebrating the California dream, like that Walt had, and the golden age of Hollywood. That's what this park needs. Hello, and welcome back to If It Were Up to Us, the podcast where we rethink, reimagine, and redesign the ultimate Disney theme park destination. I am your host, Chrissy, and this is my co-host, Stephanie. Hey, Steph, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Little bit of background or like behind the scenes. We're recording this the same day we recorded the previous one. But we were just laughing because we did a quick change and we did not consult each other on what we were going to change into. And we ended up wearing our shirts that matched. So, yeah.
I walked into my room and I could see you and I was like, that's funny. I had a feeling. So did you. We both had a feeling.
Mm-hmm. It was,
yes, it was that's just funny.
Just perfect. So,
just perfect.
Yeah, and now we get to just, wrap our podcast. So, okay. So, let's get into some of the Disney news that we did not talk about last week, which is literally Disney announcing everything that's happening in 2026 for both Disneyland and Disney World.
I loved it. When they dropped Disneyland's the first day, I was like, why don't they do this for Disney World?
Yeah.
And then the next day they did Disney World, but still not as specific as they are with Disneyland, which
yes,
I'm assuming is a like control of like they don't want everyone booking their trips for the same time of year, and kind of want to be like, when is summer? Like, when does summer start for Disney?
Right.
Is my big question, actually.
Right, yeah, because they're like, or like I think I just saw something for like a special offer for winter, and I was like, are we not already in winter? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, we definitely are in winter. I'm looking at snow right now.
It's like, how much more of winter do we have before it's spring? So, yeah. Yep, I saw that too. But, I mean, they did give us some information as far as, like, when things are opening and happening.
Well, we talked about this a little bit in Disney Springs Level 99. Mm-hmm. It just says coming in 2026. It doesn't give us any season. It just says coming in 2026. And then early 2026, it says Frozen Ever After. They're going to replace the audio animatronics, which is great. And this is February 2026. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering how long Frozen will be closed. Or will it be just like Remy, where they did, that change, the 3D to 2D change in just a few days? I feel like it should be relatively quick.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on another episode where it's just like swapping out the head of an animatronic or something. So hopefully it's a little more plug and play. My thought process would be that it could potentially be closed for like a month. And maybe that's the month that Festival of the Arts is happening at the same time.
Yeah. And Festival of the Arts, we already had the dates for, but January 16th to February 23rd. So maybe, yeah, maybe in there somewhere. Probably right after the holidays. Like that I feel travel.
Like when they do their kind of,
And then spring 2026, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It says spring 2026, refurbished and reopening with new magic.
Excited about that.
I am so excited. Except I don't think we have a family trip planned as of right now for 2026. So,
well, maybe we need to get one, and then invite me.
Okay. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It says spring 2026, reopening with new gameplay and character at Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
Disney
Yes.
After Hours,
Remember,
which they announced.
This is the
Yes.
handheld blasters, so no more dumb
No
photos.
more crummy pictures. Yes. After Hours, which we've already had dates for. Then the new dates are for the International Flower and Garden Festival, which is March 4th to June 1st. And I realize now in this very moment, I'm going to have to go update something that I made recently. Cool Kids Summer is coming back again, which we had last summer, well, this year's summer. That's exciting. And it does say in limited time fun ticket offers and deals. So I imagine we're going to have some kids ticket deals. So maybe I'll take my kids in the summer.
Yeah.
When it's blazing hot.
Yeah. But they'll be cool because they didn't cost as much to go.
And because it literally says so.
Yeah, right.
Cool Kids. Soarin' Across America is coming summer 2026. I'm excited about that. Maybe I will go in the summer.
I feel like you kind of need to because,
Yeah, I almost think so.
But if you do it, you have
not...
to go, especially if you go around the 4th of July, you need to do all of the America history things. You've got to go into the America Pavilion at Epcot, and you have to do...
Not going in July.
Okay, fine. I was just going to say, and you have to do Hall of Presidents, but fine, don't go in July.
I think if I went in the summer, I'd go, the middle of August.
Yeah.
When it's peak heat, only because the crowd levels are pretty good in August, and you could hit up Mickey's Not So Scary, too, when it starts in the middle of August. I would either do that or, the first week the kids are off of school. I would do, too, in June.
Your kids go into June?
Just the first week of June.
Yeah.
Bluey and Bingo, which we talked about in the last episode, are coming summer 2026.
And
Banana Ball.
We did not talk specifically about where, though. It's coming to Animal Kingdom. Up at the conservation station is where their meet and greet's going to be. So we did not talk about that. Them coming to...
Which we should, because how weird. Not the right place for these characters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see. But if they put in Australia, like we want to do in our park, boom, Bluey and Bingo. Right there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Anyways,
I just feel like these are Hollywood Studios characters in my brain.
I kind of see that.
Belong in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, because it kind of fits the same Disney Junior vibe with the rest of the Disney Junior characters, which are over that way.
You throw them in World Showcase in the outpost area, that section. You could throw them in there if you wanted to. I feel like that would make more sense than Animal Kingdom. In my mind. Don't make fun of me, but they're dogs, right? Are they dogs?
They are dogs.
Okay.
They're healers.
We're not, trying to save. The dogs are not endangered, is what I'm getting at. I just didn't want to say that.
There's no conservation element with it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I understand why, from a standpoint of business, they need something to draw people to Animal Kingdom, especially families who are flocking to Magic Kingdom in large numbers. So I do get that. And to me, that also tells me nothing Tropical Americas wise is going to be open in 2026, which we didn't think so anyways. Yeah. At all. But that to me is saying Animal Kingdom is going to be crummy through 2026.
Yeah, they're trying to bring something else to draw crowds there. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Disney's H2O Glow After Hours are coming back in the summer. The water park benefit in 2025, you get it on no matter when you went. 2026, you're only getting it in the summer, which kind of makes sense. Except the water parks are already busy in the summer.
Yeah.
Or you would think they would be. I don't know.
I've never been to a water park. That does not entice me on my trip.
We went to Blizzard Beach in February. It was fun. I would do it again. I would like to do Typhoon Lagoon.
I've never been, so put it on the list.
Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is getting a new mission with the Mandalorian and Grogu. That is summer 2026. Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, which, okay, taking out the pre-show without saying anything, I think is an awesome move on Disney's part. And only because that ride already, the line, it doesn't funnel people through fast enough. So if they announced that the pre-show is going away, you would have everyone and their mother trying to ride this ride to get the pre-show and record the pre-show one last time. And it just wasn't going to be smart for them, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just like with the Muppets. Like, nobody cared about the Muppets, and all of a sudden,
Right.
on the
And then
last day, it's like a whole thing. So I actually got a little bit of a chuckle out of it. And because I just wrote it a couple weeks ago with the pre-show, and honestly, it's fine. And I'm like, dang it, I kind of wished it was already closed. And then I'm over pre-show, spoiler alert.
Oh, shocker, you just want to get to a ride.
I know. I was literally talking to my mother about this. I said, I have a lot of issues, and some of them I just cannot help. And just moving at a pace is a problem, I know. Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse live, summer 2026. The Magic of Disney Animation.
This is already a show. I will say that's already a show somewhere else.
Is it?
It is. It is.
So
you keep going.
They're changing what it used to be.
Yes.
But it's still in that building?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
The Magic of Disney Animation, late summer 2026. So maybe I do need to go in August.
Okay, California, I think is where it's at. It says guests may have seen this show over at Disneyland Resort in California, and soon you'll be able to see the reimagined Walt Disney Studios area at Walt Disney World.
Nice.
So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Magic of Disney Animation. That's, I feel like, kind of a quick turnaround. I'm kind of excited that it's going to be quick. Fall 2026, this is where we're not getting specific dates yet, is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yep.
But
which we knew was coming back.
Yeah, safely assume it's going to be middle of August. And obviously go through October.
Yeah.
The International Food and Wine Festival, also, we are not getting exact dates here, but I would assume just like last year, July to November.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Or August or
winter. Winter 2026. I don't want to think about a whole nother year away. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, Jollywood Nights is coming back, and the Festival of Holidays.
Yeah. Which we knew those were going to be return things that would happen in 2026. So that's not necessarily new news. But
no.
Yeah.
See, here's where, like, Disneyland, they give you exact dates. So the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is coming May 22nd. I would assume it will probably be the same date in Disney World. I'm just going to assume. Because why wouldn't it be? Soarin', July 2nd.
Yeah.
I would assume it's going to be the same date because you want that out for July 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was my thought process too. Yeah.
But, yeah. So.
And then we did get details for Disneyland with all their after hours, what those are going to be.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I was just talking to someone who lives in California, and they were saying they were going to go, and I was like, there's just so much that Disneyland has that we just don't get to have because we can't behave. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, because we ruin it, like we do.
We do. And honestly, after doing Jollywood Nights, I don't know if I said this in the podcast, that I feel like instead of doing a holiday-themed party in that park, doing something like these after hours, like the 90s nights and all of that, would be better suited. Do a Star Wars night. Do them in May with Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I feel like 90s night with Toy Story Land, amazing.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that? That makes so much sense to do that. Yeah, I also, like, Sweetheart Night, you could also do that at Hollywood Studios. My thought would be, like, I feel like you could easily, also, like, like, the whole 90s night, like, the Disney Channel night, right? Like, totally Hollywood Studios. I feel like you could do that. I would also, I mean, I don't, there's no reason Animal Kingdom needs to be closing as early as it does. This is where you get people to buy, like, get them a reasonably priced ticket to hang out in the theme parks and do things at night, include snacks, have a theme.
I don't know
Doesn't
why
matter
we're
what
not
park you're
doing
in.
after hours in
At Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Obviously, the safari can't be open. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But do the rest of the rides.
Yeah,
Bring in some other kind of entertainment. Yeah. Put something in the show buildings. Like, maybe don't do the blue, the big blue and beyond, whatever. Mm-hmm. Put something else in there, like a dance party, so that the sound is contained or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. They want to draw crowds to Animal Kingdom, but they're doing very little to do that. Mm-hmm. And people are not going to do, like, one day at Animal Kingdom, like, ever. Like, a one-day ticket to Animal Kingdom, I would love to know, is sold very few compared to a one-day ticket at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, right now, some of the families, like, that I'm sending, I'm telling them, do 3 days, go to Epic Universe for your 4th day or something. Because if they've been there before, if they've never seen Animal Kingdom, go to Animal Kingdom. But if you've been recently, you've been to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
It just isn't great in its state. Is it bad? No, of course not. But
no, it's
just,
still a great theme park. Like, we enjoyed it so much when we went. And we didn't even do all the things. But we, even if we had done all the things, we still would have been out of there by noon.
Easily.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But nobody asked us. Which is why we came up with this podcast where we just tell them what we think. That's anyways.
Right. Yep. Whoever wants to listen. Our moms and your nieces.
Yep. That's right. Just. Yep. Okay. So today we're going into. Excuse me. Today we're getting into all things, or all the rest of things that are currently happening and will happen at our park for Hollywood Studios. I did do a breakdown of what's currently in Hollywood Studios, and I know we kind of started talking about that on the last episode, where we talked a little bit about how things had changed through the decades, to kind of give us a little bit of an idea of where things that are no longer there, and how the park has changed throughout the decades. I thought I could kind of go into maybe just a brief bit on just how things look in that park today, and then what we know has been announced, before we dive into what our ultimate version of this park could be. So, how does that sound?
Terrible.
I know. It sounds like the worst idea
so bad.
ever,
oh
honestly.
My God, no. I don't know what you expect me to say when you ask me that. How does that sound?
I mean, you could tell me no, and I could be like, fine, then I won't do it. I won't argue with you about it. No.
The only thing I'm going to tell you no to is the Hall of Presidents.
That's
I'd even go to the Canada Pavilion before I went to the Hall of Presidents.
That's still, I will say, that's like that little snippet, and you put it in the podcast from a couple weeks ago, of you when I was not with you, and you were like still walking by because you're boring. Like, I just, like, that made my heart Canada. So happy. All right. Okay, so as it stands right now, Disney's Hollywood Studios is divided into 7 themed areas. In each of them is kind of inspired by either a romanticized version of real Hollywood locations, or like Greater Los Angeles, right? Like real places, or imagined world born from Hollywood-born stories, right? That's kind of the nice way of saying this park has some kind of theme. In my opinion, it doesn't. It's disjointed. It does not make a lot of sense the way that things currently are. It talks a bit like in the bit that I kind of pulled from some of the descriptions of Hollywood Studios was like several themed areas feature prominent facades and buildings modeled after both existing and now defunct structures from Los Angeles. We know this. There are lots of kind of old-timey facades on the buildings and neon and whatnot. Found in Hollywood and Burbank and the rest of it. And that's really the only bit that to me still feels like the glamour, glitz and glamour of Hollywood. I think, personally, I almost feel like California Adventure does a better job in being more concise with its romanticized version of old, like Hollywood, than our Hollywood Studios does. With the exception of Christmas time when it's a freaking magical delight. Otherwise, it's just, it feels weird. Okay, so currently as it stands right now, Hollywood Studios, you enter on Hollywood Boulevard, which serves as the park's main entrance. This feels logical to me. It kind of operates in the same vein of Main Street. You walk in and it's got a destination that draws you through with the Chinese theater. And you've got stores lining each side, so you kind of get that Main Street vibe where you've got like the Emporium and the different things there. Right near the park's main gate, it's kind of like that town square, central, whatever, on Main Street where you have that first, like, what I call a hub, where it's like a round entrance and you've got something in the middle and then things to the sides. That is actually modeled after, it's called the Crossroads of the World Tower, and the Crossroads of the World is actually an open-air mall on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, which I did not know. Should have assumed it was modeled after something. But so that exists there, and then you walk through, and then it starts kind of getting a little bit more disjointed and branches off of there, like real streets do in Hollywood. I understand that. But the rest of the park, like, layout-wise, just makes zero sense to me. At the far end, like I said, you have the Chinese theater, which is an exact replica of the one that exists in Hollywood, or did exist. And then
still exists.
Near, I was like, does it still exist? I'm pretty sure it does.
It does.
I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but so I'll just leave them both in there as options. So anyways, and I think that is still really cool. I also love that it still has the handprints from all of the celebrities that have been there and visited the parks and stuff. I think that's amazing. You used to have the entrance to Animation Courtyard with the big archway gate thing.
Wow.
I was like, I can't, words are hard. I literally said that every time I was home for Thanksgiving and I was talking to somebody and I couldn't get the words out, I would say, as Stephanie says to me, words are hard. And then I would move on. So words are hard. And then, so you have the Animation Courtyard. Nearby there is the Brown Derby restaurant and lounge, and that is a themed replica of the original Brown Derby. And then, like I said, once as you kind of work your way down Hollywood Boulevard, you end up having disjointed sections where you can branch off and head to Echo Lake, which is the lake that is shaped like a Mickey ear. And you have Gertie the dinosaur living in that lake. And it's apparently Echo Lake is inspired by a similarly named neighborhood in Los Angeles. And it's, I guess, like, it was designed to mimic the suburban California crazy form of architecture from Hollywood's golden age. I think this is where you kind of really see that, like, 1950s, just kind of, like, retro-y vibe. Obviously, you have 50s Primetime Cafe that resides within that space, too. And then, weirdly enough, you have, like, you've got Star Tours that is part of there. You have the Indiana Jones thing that's part of there. Then you have the only theater to me that makes sense thematically in that area, which is the Hyperion Theater, which is what houses the Frozen sing-along song. And then you do have Hollywood and Vine and 50s Primetime Cafe, both in that location. Then kind of coming off of that, but not really, is you've got Commissary Lane, which used to make more sense when it was more like a movie studio. But now it's just kind of like this section that branches Hollywood Boulevard and Grand Avenue, which is what leads to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and kind of circles around like bypasses, Echo Lake. Anyways, here you have the ABC Commissary, which is a quick service themed restaurant, and then you have Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, which is that retro style like you sit in a car, watch some science fiction clips of movies from the 1950s. This is a space that like lacks things for me. It definitely feels like just a thoroughfare and a place to just put things in this park. It definitely made more sense when this was a more active, like, working studio lot to say, like, oh, you have a commissary, because that is something we know to be, like, where people gathered to eat on movie lots. But now it just feels weird. Also, lovers of the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater are going to come at me. I hate this restaurant. I hate it. It makes zero sense to me. One, the food is not great. Okay? Like, if the food was, like, awesome, great. You're paying for the theming, and the theming just, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
I've never been. But the menu is just quick service food, basically, and you're sitting in a car.
Yeah, but I will say, they recently revamped the menu to be less quick servicey. But they still wanted it to be, like, a dine-in theater, so you're still getting, like, burgers and fries. Mm-hmm. But they have, like, wings, but then they have, like, but they've, like, elevated it, but it's a weird combination. Like, just give me my regular burger and fries. That's all I want. Give me my chicken strips. I don't want to have to order off the kids' menu to do it. Just, like, anyways, I just, like, I don't, like, it's cool, but, like, if I'm not sitting and watching an actual thing, and I'm just watching these clips of things that, like, aren't relevant to me, I don't know. Now, you put me in a drive-in theater theme thing, you put clips or like Mickey shorts up there, I'm for it. That makes more sense to me, and that fits with like the retro-y vibe. Like, I don't know, you know, yeah, sci-fi. Just say dine-in theater. Like, I don't have to be sci-fi. I don't understand that. Anyways, I would much rather eat at 50's Primetime Cafe than sci-fi any day. Just putting that out there. Okay, so then we do have Grand Avenue. This used to be part of the Streets of America. It was inspired by the real location of the same name in downtown Los Angeles, right? This is where you find Baseline Tap House, the greatest little like nook of eatery in all of Hollywood studios, which is a California-styled like pub. Also has an amazing pretzel and beverages. Just go there. Don't go anywhere else.
I love Baseline so much.
I do too. And then this, like I said before, this Grand Avenue leads to the recreation of Figueroa Street Tunnel, which connects Grand Avenue to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, like main entrance. And that's really it on Grand Avenue. There used to be the Muppet Courtyard and all of that, but that's no longer there. And then you get into Galaxy's Edge. We can kind of talk a little bit more about that. This is that really immersive experience where it's set within the fictional Black Spire outpost on the remote frontier planet of Batuu. This is where you find Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, a bunch of different restaurants, eateries, and like shops. You have your Oga's Cantina, which is like a lounge, your Savi's Workshop, and then the Droid Depot. Very immersive, very drastically different from the rest of the theme park. You can go through Galaxy's Edge to get to Toy Story Land, and it's just like, boom, right there. There's no transition, no nothing. It's the weirdest part of all of Disney storytelling in the world, is that transition on the backside of Galaxy's Edge that connects to Toy Story Land. Here you'll find 3 attractions, each hosted by characters from the series. You've got Toy Story Mania, which used to be Toy Story Midway Mania, that they changed around, which is the 4D attraction inspired by the classic Carnival Midway games, which we totally crushed when we rode it. Then you have Slinky Dog Dash, which is the roller coaster, and Alien Swirling Saucers, which is like a whip car ride thingy.
A whip car ride thing.
Yeah, well, how else do you describe it? You're sitting in a little car and it whips you around. I mean, that's perfect. All I can. Yeah, if that's one of those like feels like it was a carnival ride at some point. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Okay, then that kind of puts us at the back of the park, then kind of gets us, you have the animation courtyard, which is being completely redone and revived. The only thing that currently exists and is still open right now is the Little Mermaid show that's there, a musical like stage show, which has been through multiple iterations of that, even in its time. And then we'll talk a little bit about what is coming, or we can kind of talk a little bit about what's coming to that area. Let me just get there in my notes. Okay, so we're going to have the magic of animation, which is going to be, like, is going to replace the Star Wars launch bay, right? And the rebuilding and retheming of this area. Here we're going to get the animation experience, kind of like we see up in the conservation station. So that's gonna, like, I'm excited for that to return, a bit of like actual animation happening at the theme park. And then the Disney Junior show and a play, like playground play area, which is exciting to have there. The Little Mermaid will still be in that space. They're just gonna kind of retheme and transition a bit of what that space looks like. So yeah. And as we said, we know that's now going to be opening in summer of 2026. And then we'll kind of circle back around kind of towards the front of the park to Sunset Boulevard. This is, again, named after a real thoroughfare in Hollywood. This includes a couple of different theaters, shops, and marketplaces. The two attractions that are there are the Tower of Terror and then the Rock and Roller Coaster, which we know Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be rethemed to Muppets. So that's going to change a bit. We also see recreations of the Carthay Circle Theater, the Academy Theater, and like a farmer's market, which is really cool. I actually dined at the farmer's market for the first time in my life when I was there in March, and thought that was like, I've never really kind of gone up and back into that space on Sunset Boulevard. This area has our two amphitheaters where we're going to see two outdoor amphitheaters and one indoor theater. So this is where all of the shows that kind of were what drew, I think, well, in particular, my mother to this park and made it her favorite park, but drew a lot of crowds to see some of these types of shows there in Hollywood Studios' heyday. You have the Theater of the Stars, which is the covered amphitheater that hosts Beauty and the Beast live on stage, which I absolutely love that show and everything about it. You have the Hollywood Hills Amphitheater, which is home to Fantasmic, which is set way back up there and a hike from the park.
Oh my gosh, it's so far back there.
Away. And then you also have the indoor theater, which I believe is called the Sunset Showcase Theater, and that hosts the new Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After stage show, which I hear is an amazing show. So.
I know. I kind of wished we should have went and seen it.
I know. Yeah, we should.
We need to go back.
Yeah, let's just go back right now.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow. What am I doing tomorrow? I'm pretty open. I think I could maybe swing that. Okay, so that's kind of what exists right now. Even in the midst of this, like, things are changing. This park is never going to be, I mean, no park is ever going to be complete, but this one has lost its way, in my opinion, and we should find it for them.
I think we should. So, what's our vibe? What are we doing at this park?
I think we're both in agreement that this park really should be like celebrating the California dream, like that Walt had, and the golden age of Hollywood. That's what this park needs. We don't, right now it's kind of a combination of glamorizing the golden age of Hollywood and stepping into your favorite movies, and those are two drastically different things.
I agree.
So, our Hollywood Studios, we're really only going to focus on that, that kind of California dream and the classic golden age of Hollywood. Should we kind of break it down bit by bit and put what we're adding, changing, and what we would do? Just kind of go somewhat land by land?
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of start the front. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not really changing much, except for somewhere in this park we need to bring the Carthay Circle restaurant, that whole area. Actually, I want somewhere, pretty much the entire California Adventure front, I want the little trolley to come into this park, and the Walt statue with the suitcase and stuff, all of that.
I'm for it. I am 100% for it. In California Adventure, that section, I believe it is maybe like a Hollywood, but it's also like a Lake Buena Vista Street that kind of juts off and has some of that. That's that vibe, that classic like golden age of Hollywood vibe that we get over there at California Adventure. And in my notes, I had, yes, we're going to make this act as a main street. The layout is going to be more cohesive and not so everywhere. I really do want this to feel like the original concept for Hollywood Studios, with elements of the things that they do right in California Adventure for that. So we still keep maybe the Crossroads of the World Tower. I'm totally cool with changing that out, or maybe making that where we put our Mickey with the suitcase, or Walt with the suitcase like statue. I put that we would keep the Chinese theater, and that we'd bring the Great Movie Ride back to that.
Yes,
location.
Which I'm not going to argue with you about, because you already told me it doesn't matter.
Yep, I was going to get it one way or another. But we already discussed, like, we would incorporate new movies and working animatronics in there.
Yeah.
So make that updated, and I love the idea you had of like kind of making it like a timeline and diving into history that way. I love that idea. And then I did also have on my list to bring over the Carthay Circle restaurant and lounge from Disney California Adventure. I
also want to keep the Hollywood Brown Derby too.
Yeah. I feel like these two have a similar vibe, and like they're kind of counterparts to one another. They're not the exact same restaurant. In my notes, I did put like keep some of the menu items from Brown Derby. I did not explore the Carthay Circle restaurant enough to know.
Carthay Circle, I think, is more signature.
Is it?
Like, I know Hollywood Brown Derby is, but I feel like Carthay Circle even is like a step up maybe. So I think keep that one fancier and tone down the Brown Derby more. And I'm picturing like, Walt always went to that one place with the booth. I was thinking more like of a pubby type vibe with the Brown Derby, maybe. I don't know. A little toned down.
I'm for having more, like, multiple restaurants in this park. I think by the time we get done with our revamp, we're going to need multiple sit-down locations anyways, so I'm for
sure.
And I think having a couple of different restaurants, and the only thing that I want to make sure that we have on our whatever restaurant is some menu items that were specific to like Walt Disney, and one of those being the Cobb salad from Brown Derby, and Walt's chili, I think, is another one, right? And then weenies, of course, having to have hot dogs.
Yes.
So the things that Walt ate and served as comfort foods for him. So somewhere in either of those restaurants, we will serve that type of menu in our park. Okay. Do we want to move, like, to...
down Sunset Boulevard?
Yes. Okay, great. Love that. In Disney's California Adventure, this like, offshoot, is called Hyperion Boulevard. As a Disney history nerd, I would like to rename Sunset Boulevard to Hyperion Boulevard, because the Hyperion street name,
you're going left,
and the theater, yes, sort of, I guess,
and not right.
Yes. If I'm in Disney California Adventure, it is left.
Yeah.
Yes. But in Hollywood Studios, it's right. So I'm just renaming it Hyperion because that has significance to the Walt Disney Company. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So, yeah. I would still have Tower of Terror here
Yes.
in our park. Keep that as it is a signature thing. It also fits with the glitz and glam and golden age of Hollywood. So, and then this is where I would put all of these theaters and shows as well, because I feel like that is something that you see in Hollywood. I mean, there's a theater and a show all over the place. So this is where I would have the Beauty and the Beast sing along amphitheater. I would have the Disney Villains show, the Hyperion Theater, which I think is just a facade in Disneyland's California Adventure. I don't think it's an actual theater. But either way,
no,
we
it
would
is.
rename one. Is it an actual theater in California Adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
this is where I put the
still
Frozen
the Captain
sing-along.
America show.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Frozen sing along, and then I would also put Red Carpet Dreams meet and greet here. So this would be where we would have like a red carpet and a meet and greet kind of right in this area as well.
So you would have the villain show in this park?
I think I would.
Okay.
I suppose it could be moved over to our villains area in our Magic Kingdom.
I feel like we did move it there. But maybe not. Maybe we didn't really talk about that. That's right, because we don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now, I would keep it here. And if we decided we needed more entertainment or shows in our Magic Kingdom, then we could move it. But for now, I would keep it here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would still have the amphitheater for Fantasmic.
Oh, I agree. It just makes sense.
Or something of that nature. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. Because I'm going to do... Yeah. I have a bold idea. But, okay. Yeah. Okay, where do you want to go from here? Or what do you have to add?
Nothing to that area. So, I also, like, coming off of our, like, Main Street, our Hollywood Boulevard, to the left, I think I still want to keep, like, the whole Echo Lake area, and the 50s Prime Time, and the Tune-In Lounge, and all of that. Gertie's, the whole 9 yards.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I still want that.
Uh-huh. I also wanted to include the Five and Dime like store here because I think that that's a classic like 50s retro thing. And then I did keep Hollywood and Vine as a character like breakfast spot. I love the fact that this switches up and has like Disney Junior characters for certain times or minis.
Well, they changed that now.
I know.
Do you want to go in our park to the Disney? Do you want it to have the Disney Junior?
I think so. I think we need that somewhere. And I feel like maybe, well... Okay, I'm just thinking, does something like that belong in our Toontown?
It would have to not be the Disney Junior characters, I think, in Toontown. I think you.
Okay, that's where I was hesitant because I was like, I feel like you need. So maybe this could go somewhere else. I think there needs to be a section of that kind of thing in a park somewhere where you have the characters that the little ones are familiar with.
Well, I liked that outside of the Disney Junior show, all of those characters met outside of it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of was going to keep it that way, but change Hollywood and Vine to even maybe some face characters. Not so much.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to go, like, not so much, like, animated movie characters. I was thinking more, like... I don't know. Not Mickey, Minnie.
More like Mary Poppins-y?
Maybe. Or something like that. I don't know who, but I think that it doesn't have to be Mickey and the gang.
For sure.
Because it's like Hollywood, and I don't know. I don't know. Okay, just working around that way a little bit. We can think on the Hollywood and Vine. Indiana Jones, the stunt show. Are you keeping it?
I want to keep it. I want to move it.
Okay.
But yes, I do want to keep it.
Okay, I think so too, because it's part of movie making.
Yes. Yeah. So,
where are you
do we
moving?
want to get into that part before I tell you about this other part, an idea that I have?
What's the other part?
Well, it's a brand new idea. So do we want to talk about the movie making part of the park, or do we want to talk about this other idea I have? What do you
Okay,
want
let's
to
go with your other idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so after having done a certain immersive theme park land at another theme park that shall not be named, I had an idea of potentially connecting this park and our other park in a semi-immersive way. Did we have the same idea?
No, I think we talked about this.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
did we do this? Okay, so
No.
my thought process was to perhaps create a classic California boardwalk similar to what we see in Pixar Pier, right? Maybe not exact. I mean, I still called it like Pixar Pier, but where we have some of these other kind of random smattering of movies that don't really fit into having their own thing.
Like land, yeah.
Yes,
Dedicated
right?
land.
Like it's Toy Story is a whole series of movies and elements, but then, but we do have like some things like Inside Out and The Incredibles and some of those other movies that have some classic characters that I feel like we could incorporate or IP into the parks, that we could still maybe have this boardwalk idea. And really, it all hinges on being able to bring the Incredicoaster into our parks.
Yeah.
So,
because we love it so much.
This space would still feel very 1950s California Pier boardwalk vibes, and have some of these like Pixar-y elements that we could also transition into some other components of our next park, in kind of an immersive way. And that's then why I was like, yeah, we'd have Fantasmic, or maybe we have World of Color in a lagoon that kind of bridges the two spaces between our boardwalk and our other park. Yeah.
Okay. So that's fine and dandy. And you were thinking that, like, if people are thinking Hollywood Studios and Disney World, you were thinking that kind of where Indiana was? Or where were you going to put it? In your mind.
Yes, kind of where you go past Echo Lake and get into maybe something a little further or up beyond. Almost like if you go around from Echo Lake where Baseline Tap House is, if that makes sense, as you like kind of transition out of that like 1950s vibe into what is like Grand Avenue, Streets of America, right? Kind of moving in that direction around. I don't know that if it's, I don't think it's an exact like footprint, but it would be beyond that space. And then you'd have this Hollywood Studios park, and then you'd have the other one that's over here, and then this boardwalk would kind of
that
go
way
in between.
Toy Story Land could stay where it is, and it would make sense coming off of our Pixar Pier.
Mm-hmm.
Pier.
Yeah, kind of like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we were both in agreement that Galaxy's Edge is going out of this park, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not staying in this park.
Mm-mm.
Was Toy Story Land staying in this park, or was Toy Story Land going to the other park?
I want to give Toy Story Land the boot.
Okay.
But this would be how it connects
coming
to our
off of that.
park. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about this pier and this boardwalk, could we also have in between the two parks the boardwalk resort off of this boardwalk too? Because, you know, that'd be cool. You could stay at the boardwalk, watch the lagoon, World of Color.
Also maybe somewhat similar to another park and hotel that we looked at that overviews another park and has its own park entrance. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kind of.
Yes, ma'am. Vibes. You're on the right
Okay,
track.
what else is in your Hollywood studio since we have booted Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land?
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is where we get into my faux working studio concept. So remember how Hollywood Studios really struggled with making it an actual working studio lot? And because they were trying to have it as like a fake place where they would do all these demonstrations, but then still have these real things happening. And as we know, like, show business does not lean towards demonstrations ritually every day. So this is where we would see some of these elements of stuff that we used to see kind of opening day vibes. And the way that I look at this is we would have a classic archway entry like we used to have for MGM Studios and Hollywood Studios that take us off of the streets of Hollywood and bring us into the back lot of our studio. And then it would be set up very similarly. We would have I even like the layout of the new animation courtyard.
Yeah.
But I want to see a replication of the animation building in Burbank, the one that has the 7 dwarves holding up the roof. I want to see that replicated in our park.
Okay.
So, think that building. We'd still have an animation experience like the one that we took part in Animal Kingdom, and then we would have the new Drawn to Life attraction and potentially the playground. Everything that they've announced was on our list, which is why it was so crazy when they announced it, because we were literally thinking to ourselves, like, have they been listening to us?
This is what we wanted.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
So that would be one. And then there could be, I would love to see historical bits, like the old costuming department from the backlot tour, right, be incorporated into this. And so that brings me then to the backlot itself. So perhaps whether it's not a real working costuming, but maybe it's a fake archives or a whatever that we go through on this backlot tour, a costuming department. Or perhaps they move the costuming department for cast members to this part of the theme park, right? Where we see the actual fitting of like costuming pieces happening or whatever. I don't know. Anyways. But this is where we would have our faux working studio backlot. So we'd have show times essentially set up that would go through our backlot tour, and we would still have all of these demonstration things, but now we're pretending to shoot a movie and not actually shooting a movie, if that makes sense. And then you could have an interactive element like they did previously, where you ask for volunteers, and now these volunteers are playing a role in your movie and doing these things, and you know, have that kind of interactive element or whatever. Bringing back that backlot studio tour. Oh my gosh. Having a catastrophe canyon for sure. I would really love to have a former set of a movie brought in and converted to a playground. I don't know what movie it would be. But the idea kind of came from, what about the set from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and that whole playground that they used to have there? Like, can we not just like bring that back? And then this is where I would move the Indiana Jones stunt show to, because I feel like that's a live demonstration that could happen on a backlot tour. Okay. And then the Lights, Motors, Action car show could come right back too. All of these things could be on this lot. I feel like those are things that people are interested to see. Stunt shows are super fun to see. So why not?
Would you put, for restaurants, the Backlot Express and ABC Commissary?
Mm-hmm.
Would you keep those?
I would. I also thought about moving Baseline Tap House to this section of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it just seems like it would be the place where movie stars might gather afterwards. And then here's a big idea that I had. You know how on a movie set, you're going to have trailers for makeup and hair?
Yeah.
Or a building for like makeup and hair on a soundstage? Bippity Boppity Boutique, Hollywood themed, here in this park.
Yeah.
They can dress up as any kind of character they want, have makeup done, hair done, whatever, in this park. And it would be part of this studios as like a hair and makeup trailer.
Okay. I don't hate that. I like it.
Thanks.
What did you say about Rock and Roller Coaster? Was that getting the boot? I can't remember. Did you say
I didn't mention it. I didn't say anything about it.
Because we're putting Incredicoaster in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I just feel like, I mean, maybe the Muppets rebrand fits somewhere. I don't know. It's, as it stands, music theme, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I was just thinking that it's not necessary. And I also think that you could keep your Phantasmic and put it, instead of like that way, put it over kind of where Rockin' is.
Oh,
because it could be in between the like studios.
Mm-hmm.
Like the backlot. And the Sunset Boulevard, Hyperion Boulevard area of our park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the other show is different enough.
Yeah, I think it's different enough, and then I think also perhaps that would allow you the space between the two that you could have both kind of happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's not like either of them are super firework heavy, that you see them up in the sky, that they're going to be disruptive from each other.
Exactly.
And I think that pulls larger crowds into the park at night. So. And you could offset the timing of them too.
Yeah, just by a half hour or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like Phantasmic does have that, like, movie-making element where, like, you know, Mickey's here and then he's there, and, like,
yeah,
it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that? Type of vibe.
Yeah.
And then I also think that the Walt Disney Presents little thing would be good kind of over there, too.
Oh, yeah, I did have that in there, yeah, as, like, a preview center for...
Yeah.
Things that are happening throughout the theme park.
Yeah. I like it. And I think Jollywood Nights would go really good in this park still. Because it would be very Hollywoody. Hollywoody.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Especially when you add random Y's to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I feel like I can picture it in my head.
Yeah, it's still... if you're walking into this park, I think fans of Hollywood Studios would be excited and feel at home. You know, because all of your classic attractions are there. Everything that you once loved about the original park is coming back.
Yeah.
And it still has its own unique identity.
Yeah. And if people are listening to this and like, oh my God, how could you take Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway? We put that in another park, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still around.
Yeah.
It's just not in this one. So.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great.
Good. I'm glad.
do.
I felt like we were not going to be far off on this one from our original
No.
conversation we had in
Yeah.
in Disneyland, because we're both in agreement this park needs work. It does not have its own identity anymore.
Yeah.
It's either, it's got to be one or the other, and it's just not hitting the mark right now.
No. It's kind of like a smorgasbord. Pretty much how both parks in California feel anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as Galaxy's Edge being a Disneyland park, and then kind of everything kind of thrown into California Adventure with Cars Land and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Our next episode is going to be just kind of a recap of what we brought in, and then we can also do our top 5 Hollywood Studios, like moments, memories, rides, all the things. And I was thinking there too, maybe we can do a little bit around, we'll talk a little bit more about the entertainment type stuff that we would bring back to the park. I know we talked about it in our last episode, how much we miss the streetmosphere and the people of Hollywood and that kind of stuff. And then we can also talk about a little more in depth about Jollywood Nights, and maybe revisit the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights that used to be at this park. Yeah. I am excited to be able to share with you my memories of this park that you aren't familiar with, because you didn't get to go to this park kind of more or less in its heyday.
Yeah.
So I'm almost positive I have a photo of me with Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, I think you did say that at some point. You better find it.
I know I have it on my phone, so I will find it for that episode.
Okay. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to hear our top moments, memories, and all of that, you have to come back for next episode. If it were up to us.
Well, you'll just have to listen.